Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I make my homemade pizza. My homemade pizza is delicious. It's taken quite a while for me to get this recipe down pat. We have this pizza at least once a month, usually twice a month. It took me a while to kind of perfect this recipe, how to roll the dough out evenly, how many toppings to add, all that stuff. But once I started making this on a regular basis, I definitely improved in my pizza making. And so today, I'm gonna take you along and share with you how I make this pizza. I'm gonna start making my pizza dough by mixing water, yeast, and sugar into the bowl of my KitchenAid. That needs to sit for about 10 minutes in order to activate the yeast. Then in a separate mixing bowl, I'm going to stir together my salt, flour, and olive oil. Once that yeast mixture has sat for about 10 minutes, I'm going to dump the contents of my other mixing bowl into the KitchenAid, and I am going to use my dough hook to mix this all together. I let this mix and knead for a while. I'm gonna wait until the dough starts to pull away from the bowl. What I'm looking for is a nice homogeneous ball of dough. It's hard to describe exactly how you want it to look. Again, after you've made it a lot, you really get a look for and a feel for how you want your pizza dough to look. If it's too sticky, I will add some more flour. Again, you just want to add a bit of flour at a time so that you don't overdo it. As this dough is finishing up kneading, I'm going to get my pizza pans ready. This recipe makes 2 pizzas, so I'm going to get out my 2 pans. I put just a bit of oil brushed on to the pans, and then I sprinkle a little bit of flour so that my pizza is not going to stick. Then once my dough is ready, I divide it into 2 and I prepare a well-floured surface. I like to have just a measuring cup sitting to the side here with flour just ready because I know I'm gonna need some more flour as I roll out this dough. Then I put this half portion of the dough down onto my floured surface. I also put some flour onto my rolling pin, and then I start rolling. The trick here is to roll this evenly. So I like to roll constantly, trying to keep this in this round shape. So I'm kind of moving my rolling pin around, trying to keep it in this nice circle. Occasionally I will flip it as well. I will add some more flour as needed to make sure it's not sticking to either the counter or to my rolling pin. I also like to feel this dough and make sure that there aren't parts that are thicker than other parts. I really want to make this nice and even, so if I find a section that's thicker, I'll roll that portion out a bit more, trying to make the whole pizza dough the same thickness. Once it is a good size and I think that it will fill out my pizza pan, I transfer it over. I kind of maneuver it around, pinching the edges in order to completely fill the pan. Once both pizza doughs are ready, I'm going to top it with tomato sauce, not pasta sauce, but I also don't get pizza sauce. I just get the plain jar of tomato sauce. I'm gonna spread this around. I get as close to the edge as I can. I want to leave as little crust around the edges as possible. I've gone back and forth on how to add cheese to pizza. So sometimes I've done cheese first and then toppings, but then the toppings easily come apart from the cheese. I find if I do the toppings first and then cheese, the cheese will easily slide off after it's cooked. So the happy medium that I do right now is I put just a bit of cheese over my sauce here. I add my toppings and then I top it again with a bit more cheese. So for these 2 pizzas today, I am doing one pepperoni pizza, and then the other one is a Hawaiian pizza where I used some ham and canned pineapple. As I was adding my cheese, I didn't think there was quite enough mozzarella, so I did add some cheddar cheese as well. I have preheated my oven to 425 degrees, and then my pizza goes into the oven. Depending on your oven, I would always turn it between 425 and 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and then cook it between 22 and 25 minutes. That's the sweet spot, right in there. Because I have put my pizzas onto 2 different levels in here, halfway through the cooking time, I switch them. In order to check if they are cooked through, I like to move the pan a little bit, seeing if the toppings jiggle at all. If they move at all, then I know that my pizza is not quite cooked through. I also might lift the pizza a little bit and see if the bottom is brown. If it's really pale, then it's not cooked through either. Again, you really get better at knowing how to eyeball it with practice. Because I have made this regularly, I just know how it's supposed to look. It takes a bit of practice and, to be honest, a bit of trial and error. Once my pizzas are cooked through, I pull them out of the oven. I like to let them sit and cool for a few minutes before I start slicing them with my pizza cutter. I always serve veggies on the side with our pizza. The kids like to dip theirs in ranch. They like to dip their pizza in ranch as well. Down below in the description, I will type out the pizza dough recipe that I use. I decided to start making it every other week just because if I was only making it every few months, everything that I would learn, I would pull out my recipe again in a few months and totally forgot the little tips and tricks I learned, and I felt like I was starting from scratch all over again. I was tired of making the pizza and it not turning out quite right, so once I started making this recipe on a regular basis, I fairly quickly got used to baking times and how to get better at rolling out the dough and all those little details. It takes practice, but once you master it, your family will love you for it. Let me know down in the description below if you try out this recipe. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.